Let's talk about a theory on Rey. Good afternoon, good evening, this is John Paul Ryan. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. Today, I'm going to have Snoke Spinal Tap on my channel, because he has a theory about what if Rey was a clone, but not only a clone of Luke Skywalker's hand. So first, let's see what Snoke has to say about it. Here he is.
What's up, Star Wars fans, and thank you, John, for having me on your channel today. Now, we've been trying to figure out who Rey is and what Rey is. And now, what if Rey is a clone? Now, we've seen this in other storylines and games in, like, I think Star Wars Force Unleashed game, but all that isn't canon. There's a character with Starkiller. What if they took that kind of story and put it to Rey? Now, there's some other supporting evidence that I think that has been in The Force Awakens and the Last Jedi from the beginning that we've kind of missed here. And there's even something else that I've noticed while speaking to John about something here. And I've watched The Force Awakens yesterday, and I watched The Last Jedi again. And from doing that again, whenever you notice, whenever she's going down in, I think, Maz Kanata's castle, and she's about to actually touch the lightsaber, I've always wondered, why does the safe actually open up for her? Okay, and why does the lightsaber call out to her? What if she is a clone from Luke Skywalker's severed hand? And this kind of makes sense because, like, what would happen is that, let's say if those safes were kind of like sensitive to, like, let's say if Luke was down there, would the door just open for him? And if it was his safe area, I think it would. Now, the lightsaber would kind of like sense that it was Luke, and that it would be his hand. The lightsaber itself would think that Rey is Luke's hand. And if you notice, she touches the lightsaber with her right hand, which is the right hand or whatever, is the hand that Luke Skywalker is, he has that hand cut off. So whenever she touches it, that's whenever it goes into the vision. The vision starts out at Cloud City, and she starts to fall, seemingly from out of Cloud City, which kind of represents the hand, and then it looks right at Luke's hand, and then he touches R2-D2. Now, how she could be a clone and everything is, what I'm thinking is that maybe Darth Vader did it on purpose, cut his hand off on purpose. Maybe they're going to tell it as like Darth Vader started cloning from off of his hand, and maybe kept it quiet from Palpatine, or maybe it was both of them doing it at the same time. I think if this is a clone from his hand, it would have been done by Darth Vader. But I also think that the Last Jedi, whenever she's at the Force Tree, she says that she saw it all before, like the tree and the books and stuff, but only in dreams. It starts to focus a lot on like Luke's mechanical hand, his right hand, and it starts to focus a lot on Rey's right hand, and she's like touching the tree and everything. And I think that that's kind of like some clues that J.J. Abrams has put out, because I think that he's kind of like a clue, kind of like a mystery builder, and that's what I like about him. And I really hope that this is where he's going. Just a reminder, whatever, this is a theory, but potential spoilers, because there's just like a potential clues and evidence kind of really supports it that she could be a clone. And whenever she's in her Force Nexus, okay, it shows a whole bunch of rays all lined up, and that could represent that maybe like she has been cloned and frozen in carbonite. And just like the character Starkiller or whatever, in his Force Nexus, he sees a whole bunch of clones of himself during that time in the game as well. So, and two, whatever, while they're in the Force Nexus, it's supposed to tell them the truth and tell them what they want, And what she sees is that the mirror shows two people coming up, but maybe what if that one person, that shorter person, is actually Luke? And I think that's kind of where they're going with, is like Rey's kind of like a Boba Fett whenever you could look at that there. So with that in mind or whatever, she could look at Luke as being her father, just like how Boba Fett looked at Jango Fett as being his father, and that makes sense right there. But the two people in the mirror is it's kind of like, like maybe there's like someone else that she's been cloned with, or maybe it's showing the person that actually performed all of the cloning. But with the mirror, with like all the images and everything, I really think that that's showing that she was frozen in carbonite, and she would have probably been frozen when she was a child. And then that would also explain like her memory loss, and she wouldn't be able to see for a little while at that time either. And maybe some people found her on Jakku and then just sold her off for drinking money, just like what Kylo Ren has said. And he's maybe found out what she really is and who she really is, and is kind of getting jealous because he just sees her as like Luke's hand, and that she has no business in being maybe in existence, because like maybe she was cloned and maybe she was frozen there, and maybe like something released her, because there's supposed to be some other stories on Jakku. So let me know what you think about this, and may the Force be with you always.
I gotta thank Snoke for sending me that clip, and Snoke has a very nice way of making theories about The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, which I appreciate, because I have trouble even watching the movies, but I do like hearing his theories, and here's what I think. If Rey was a clone of Luke's hand, that would help solve a few problems for me personally. First of all, we solved the problem of how she's so good in the Force. And I guess if she had Luke's DNA, I know we have the explanation of her, getting Kylo's powers, but let's just go with like a real explanation. That would solve that. And also it would solve why Luke was so strange and mean to her. If Luke knew that she was a clone of his hand, yeah, he might not treat her like a person, really. He might be like, well, yeah, it is a living, breathing person, but then again, it's a clone of my hand, so I don't want to train her, and this and that, and that would solve a few things for me. And yeah, like Snoke said, it would solve why the hell did her parents just leave her there? Why did they just abandon her on a planet? And if she was a clone, there would be less emotional attached. Maybe they had 3 other Reys with them, or something like that, so it would help settle that little thingy there too. And yeah, the thing on Bespin, why did Rey see Bespin? If it was Luke's hand, maybe it was just kind of ingrained in the DNA or something, and, we don't have to make perfect sense. We're not, having a science experiment here, but at least we could get some idea, or we could, have some kind of an answer as to why these things might exist, and that would make sense to me. So I personally really hope Rey is a clone, and if she is, that would fix up some things, because the main thing about Episode 9, if it's going to be good, if it's really going to be good, it's going to change the way we look at Episodes 7 and 8. That's what's going to have to happen. Anyway, you guys let me know in the comments what you think about Rey being a clone of Luke's hand, or maybe just a clone. I don't know, there's a couple of theories at this point going around about it. And click that subscribe button. Community is growing little by little. I will see you next time.